So, welcome back to KissKast. KissKast presents Guns N' Roses. We have a list of Guns N' Roses albums from worst to best, but since we've only covered Appetite for Destruction, that list is a bit thin on the ground. It is only at number 1, Appetite for Destruction, but hey, that could all change today. If we're even going to rank it. But today we're going to be talking about the album, the EP, the compilation. I don't know what you fucking call this thing. But the follow-up, the second release by Guns N' Roses, GNR Lies. And a little bit of background on this thing. Appetite for Destruction gets released and is a massive hit. Mostly through, not instantly, mostly through relentless touring and shit. It begins to build in stature, and by 1988, the album sold 6 million copies. Despite all of this, despite this success, not all is well. The press are out to get Guns, and internally, the band are struggling with egos. The bands are struggling with substance abuse. For example, as a result of the band's success, they did a cameo in a Dirty Harry movie called The Deadpool. Sadly, however, not all of the band could make it.
Did they? Wow.
Yes, they did. I'm not sure exactly. Slash fires a harpoon in it, and they're at a funeral. Those are the two things that I can tell you about it.
I'm looking at the pictures now. What the hell
I don't know what it is.
Okay,
I don't know what it is.
I'll save this for another time.
Yeah, I didn't watch the film in preparation for this. Maybe I should have. Maybe it's them and Clint Eastwood. They could have a massive role in the movie. I don't know. It could be Guns N' Roses and Clint Eastwood, like, solving crimes together. I do not know.
Slash with the harpoon.
Leave it to me, Terry. Killing bad guys. Sadly, however, not all of the band could make it to the film shoot, as Steven Adler, the band's drummer, ended up in hospital after someone had spiked his drink, causing him to overdose. According to Adler, I woke up in the hospital with tubes coming out of every hole in my body. Every hole? That's shit, isn't it? Every single hole. Jesus. The nostrils, the ears, the mouth, the arsehole, the urethra. That's not good. It's not good at all. I woke up in the hospital with tubes coming out of every hole in my body, with Axel holding my hand, crying because he thought I was going to die. He said, "Don't die, Stephen! Don't ever leave me!"
I don't know why that image is so funny.
He's singing Rocket Queen. "So you'll always be there." It's quite sad, isn't it? None of the other members of the band came. They all wanted, like, no, we're going to do this movie. It's so important. He's gonna fire the harpoon if they all. So instead of that, they all went and did that, whilst Axel and Stephen were absent. In general, around this period, Steven Adler was going in harder on the drugs and alcohol than any other member of the band. But we will address that more another time, as it would prove to be quite bothersome for the other members of the band. There is a quote, I can't remember who said it, but we'll go into it probably next episode, where they said, if your drug problem is too much for Guns N' Roses, there's something seriously wrong, which we'll go into next week. The band also played the Monsters of Rock Festival, which is now called Download, as you probably know. Would you like to know what the bill was?
So we're talking 1988?
Yeah, around that time.
Ooh.
It'll be a good one.
It's
surely.
Okay. It's okay.
I don't know. Oh, okay. It's a guess. Who would be headlining? Motley Crue.
No.
It was a bit late for them.
Motley Crue were not there. Do you want me to tell you? I can tell you if you like.
Quiet Riot.
Yeah, go on.
How about every time I say the band name, maybe Alex, maybe you could play a snippet of one of their songs.
How many bands are you gonna do?
There's only five.
Okay. I'll think about
Opening Halloween. Pause.
You hear the whispering in the crowns of the trees. You're running round, but your eyes don't agree.
Then Megadeth. Pause. Then David Lee Roth. Pause.
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.
Then Kiss. Kiss coming off of Crazy Nights, by the way, which would have been fucking amazing because a lot of the set would have been that. Hey, Gene! And headlining was Iron Maiden. Guns were actually quite low down because Guns are a big band, but they're still up and coming at this point. So they were on, I think, after Halloween. I could be wrong, though. Which is an okay...
Pretty awesome.
It's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. Halloween,
think.
fuck that right off. Megadeth, fuck that right off. David Lee Roth would be funny. Kiss off of Crazy Nights would have been great. Guns would have been great off Appetite. And Iron Maiden would have been pretty sick around this time. What would Maiden have released? 88. Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, I think it was Seventh Son of the Seventh Son.
Yeah, it's just before the
Yeah,
Breath of the
that
Dying,
was fucking
I think.
garbage. That's might be one of my least favorite Maiden records, which is not a controversial opinion. It's not very light. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughters off that one.
No.
Anyway, sadly, during this gig, the audience rushed the stage, which resulted in 2 people dying. This fueled the media, which was already outraged by the band's on and offstage antics and their degenerate image, which I think, obviously, I know, influenced the cover of this album that we're going to talk about today. Sorry, Danny, you were going to interrupt then. Fucking rude. What do you want to say?
I was
Speak up!
gonna ask, was this during their set?
It was, yeah. Well, obviously.
So 2 people died during the Guns N' Roses set.
Yeah, 2 people died. It wasn't going to be a Halloween set, was it?
People would be going crazy at Halloween. They'd be rushing the stage.
Paul, well, I'm telling you what,
Russian.
to give Paul his due, he would not fucking stand for that. Paul wouldn't have been during Kisses. He'd be, no, leave him alone. Also, because Paul Stanley calls people out for moshing at his gigs, there is a video. Go look it up, because he's a bumhole.
What
He does. He calls people out for moshing at his
does
gigs.
he say?
There's a video of them playing, and the people are moshing. He's like, stop everything. We're not at some fucking death metal concert. Stop moshing. Huh? And then makes fun of them, saying, what you gonna do? Smoke weed out in the parking lot? You bums?
No,
Yes, he does. He does. He does. He does. Go look it up. After this, look it up.
I've not
No, he
seen that
does.
one.
He does.
I've seen the one where it's like he's a clearly non-English speaking country and he's going, everyone take a step back, everyone. Just sort of, he's trying to do the right thing, but they're just cheering.
Excuse-moi. Voulez-vous? Well, Gene should have stepped in. Gene speaks like five languages, so he should have stepped in. Anyway, yeah, look it up, please do. Anyway, however...
Give me any comic book and I can tell you the French title.
Exactly.
Sorry, continue.
That's okay. However, despite all this, people dying, Appetite is still at number 1. Nothing could get in the way of Guns N' Roses. As we'll see with this record, they could basically do whatever the fuck they liked at this point. Now, to capitalize on the success of Appetite for Destruction, the label and the band were quite keen to get another release out quick. Previously, Guns had put out a live EP called Live Like a Suicide, which is a shit title for an album. A really shitty title for an album. Only a handful of copies of this record were actually made, and because Guns N' Roses had become huge, people were selling the album Live Like a Suicide for a lot of money. Axl did not take kindly to this, so they decided to combine the 4 tracks of Live Like a Suicide with 4 tracks of new, mostly acoustic material, which would become this release. I mean, Axl, they could have just re-released Live Like a Suicide, if they were that bothered, which personally I think would have been a better move, in my opinion. But we can get to that later. With the exception, obviously, of the acoustic re-recording of You're Crazy of Appetite, this release would feature mostly new material or old material that people hadn't heard before, that were not released off Appetite in live form, or some live covers. So it's a bit sort of confusing as a release. It's quite a confused release. Also, apparently, the version of You're Crazy that appears on this record is originally how they intended it. The version you get on Appetite is a reworking, not the other way around. That's interesting, right? Odd. The song, Used to Love Her, was written as a joke after Izzy Stradlin disliked a song he heard on the radio featuring, and this is a quote, some guy whining about a broad who had treated him bad. However, this is disputed, as Slash said
Hilarious.
that people think it's about our old girlfriend, but it's actually about Axl's dog. This is going to be a reoccurring thing.
I'm not following.
Well, yeah, this is
What?
what. So, Slash was saying people think it's about the song Used to Love It is about one of their old girlfriends, but he said it's actually about Axl's dog. This is quite a common thing with Guns N' Roses, as we'll see moving
So they heard
forward.
a song on the radio
No.
about someone complaining about their relationship,
Yes.
and then they made a song which is about their dog.
Well, this is going to be a continuing problem with Guns N' Roses, which none of them can fucking agree on how a song was written, as we'll see with the song
Right, okay,
Patience
got it.
coming up. And there's a pretty obvious reason why. They were just on a lot of fucking drugs, and none of them can remember. And so we'll see with the song Patience, because this record hatched a hit, which was the song Patience. Apparently, Izzy Stradlin wrote the music. However, and I've also heard that he also wrote the lyrics. However, I've also heard that Axl wrote the words about his relationship with his now ex-wife. However, it has also been speculated that Izzy wrote it about his then girlfriend at the time. Something, by the way, that I didn't highlight, which I should have in the previous episode, is how much Izzy Stradlin actually wrote for them. He was responsible for a lot of their material. So I'm sorry, Izzy. You did not get your due. But you're also rich, so
Sorry.
it's all good. Duff has also disputed about who wrote the fucking song Patience. In one interview, he said it was Axl. In another interview, he said Izzy wrote the verse and he wrote the end part. He also said that he sat with Izzy when he was writing the verse, doing Valium and reading a book about slugs, and suggested the lyrics, I'm doing drugs, reading about slugs, all I need is just a little patience. However, Slash has also said that it was a group effort between him, Izzy, Duff, and Axl. Axl disputes this and said that Izzy wrote most of the words and music, and Duff and Slash worked on the ending together and changed some of the arrangement. However, the guitarist of Tesla, Frank Hannon, says Guns N' Roses stole Patience from a demo that he wrote for a song called Without You. But then rode back on those comments and said it was just the outro that they saw. Basically, someone wrote it. They were probably all on a lot of drugs at the time, and no one has a good memory of what actually happened. It's quite funny that there's so much, discrepancy in who actually wrote this song. When, not to give too much away, it's not that good. It's really not that good. I don't understand why so many of them are taking credit for it. It's not that great.
Yeah.
It's really not. Despite all that, Patience was recorded live with them all sat in a circle with acoustic guitars. Obviously, Axl did some overdubs later, as you can hear, but all the instrumentation and Axl's main focus was all done live, and it was a big hit off this record, peaking at number 4 in the US and number 10 in the UK, respectively. And it's still played in the band. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, unbelievable. Unfucking believable. And it's still played in the band set to this day and is a fan favourite. I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but I think that says more about how big Appetite was than it does about the song. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, yeah. Well, we'll get into it later.
Yeah, we'll get into it later. GNR Lies was another success and entered the top 5, coexisting there with Appetite for Destruction. So basically, Guns N' Roses was so big at this point that they had 2 records in the top 5. I mean, again, not to give too much away, but Appetite is still doing all the heavy lifting there, isn't it? You can just say yes or no, but surely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The band played a number of shows after the release of GNR Lies to support it. One was in Atlanta. Axl jumped from the stage to grab a security guard who Axl said was shoving a friend of his without provocation. The police held Axl backstage whilst the rest of the band played Communication Breakdown and Honky Tonk Woman with a roadie singing. To avoid trial, Axl pleaded guilty for assaulting the police and paid a fine. In Philadelphia, just minutes before a concert, Axl got into a fight with a parking lot attendant who Axl says shoved Stuart, his younger brother, and a personal assistant. Doug Goldstein, the group's tough but temperament and shrewd tour manager, persuaded the police to release Axl in time for the show. Another gig was in Hamburg, Germany, where Izzy and Duff beat up the drummer of Faster Pussycat, bound him with duct tape, and tossed him in an elevator.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, there.
Why did they do that?
Why did he do that? What? Poor guy. They're a rowdy bunch of guys. Basically, in the background, there's going to be a segment where it's going to be fucking shenanigans they go up to at gigs to support albums. However, there is one gig we do sort of need to talk about, which is for another show. They were asked to open up for the Rolling Stones for 50 grand. The band's manager rejected this offer, stating that Guns could make more money playing by themselves, which I think is true. However, Slash and Axl disagreed as they wanted to play with the Stones. Their manager ignored this, and Mick Jagger returned with another offer of $500,000. Guns N' Roses' manager rejected it again, demanding that they double it. They doubled it, and Guns N' Roses was given $1 million for opening for the Rolling Stones. I mean, again, it says a lot about how massive they were at this point.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, that they could basically demand that much money off the Stones. It really does say a lot. However, I don't think anyone really cared about the Rolling Stones during the late 80s, but I don't know enough about them. Unfortunately, Axl Rose was very late getting to the venue. This is obviously a behavior we will see repeated again and again moving forward. He was so late that the gig's promoter sent the LAPD to his hotel to force him to the venue. Why
did they do that? Does he control the police?
Maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe he does. Have they not got better things to do? Like, they're rapists and murderers running around, and they're like, we need to send 4 police officers to make sure Axl Rose gets to a gig on time. Maybe they showed him the.
I don't think
Maybe
that's
they
their
showed
job.
him Clint Eastwood's The Deadpool and said, see, he works for the police. He needs to get there. He needs to get here. He needs to get here to arrest some people. Living Colour were playing before Guns N' Roses at this gig. So the bill was Living Colour, Guns N' Roses, and then the Rolling Stones. During Living Colour's set, they gave a speech about racism and about the Guns N' Roses song, 1 in a Million, that comes up on this record. Now, the song 1 in a Million uses a lot of offensive, nationalistic, homophobic, and racist language, including the N-word and the F slur, which is obviously very, very controversial. Because Living Colour did this speech on stage, Axl Rose was not impressed. And backstage, the tension between Axl and Living Colour was very, very tense. Just putting this out there now, good for Living Colour. They stood up for what was right against a much bigger band, and I bet they probably got fucking booed for it because people are fucking weird. And Guns N' Roses...
And they make better music.
Well, across their entire discography, yes. They've made a lot better shit than what's on this album, for fucking definitely. And fucking good for them. From the stage, Axl responded by suggesting they play 1 in a Million that night just to piss Living Colour off. Would you like to hear Axl's rebuttal for people being quite upset about the song 1 in a Million?
I've already heard it.
I've read it. It's the worst.
Well, hang on,
I've
wait. There's multiple rebuttals. I mean, sorry, just to give context, the rebuttal he gave from the stage at this gig.
I don't know.
Okay, what did he say there? I read a couple of quotes.
They
were all really bad.
Because it's fair to give his rebuttal. He said, "I am sick and fucking tired of this publicity bullshit around our fucking song 1 in a Million. Police and N-words, F-words, radicals and racists, I don't give a fuck. They don't give a goddamn fuck what fucking color you fucking are, as long as you ain't no goddamn deep drug using fucking crack selling piece of shit." I think we can all agree that is a strong rebuttal.
Not
Angry little man.
I didn't read that one, but it's in line with the others.
And
do we know where this concert was, by the way? Do you know which city?
I didn't write it down. I think it's in Atlanta.
Okay.
But you know how the audience reacts. I've seen the clip. Yeah, woo! Because people are fucking idiots. People are fucking morons. Anyway, now you guys got a choice. Basically, we can go into the background of that song now and the rationale behind that song, or we can do it when we get to the track, where we can say what we think about it. Or I could give you the background now behind it. What would you prefer?
Let's save it for when we get to it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, save it when we get to it. We can do that. Now, at this Rolling Stones gig, Axl also called out Slash on stage at the same gig. After the first song, he said, "I hate to do this on stage, but I've tried every single other fucking way. But unless some members of this band don't get their shit together, these will be the last Guns N' Roses shows you'll ever fucking see. Because I am sick and tired of too many people in this organization dancing with Mr. Goddamn fucking Brownstone." Which, I mean, this isn't cool, is it? This is cool. This isn't cool.
We're only we're less than a year right into their success, right? Still
Falling apart.
That's funny, yeah, and it's already a fucking train wreck. It's already going fucking bad, and it's all Axl though. It is all Axl, for the most part.
Well, and poor Steve as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, GNR Lies was released on November 29th, 1988. It is the last to feature the original lineup. It peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 100. That really does show how massive they were at the time. Because, and I'm going to say this now, there is no way a record like this would ever get this big. Particularly as it has the song 1 in a Million of it. It's also worth mentioning that in terms of the legacy of this release, 3 of the 4 songs on this EP or on this album are included on the 2018 remastered release of Appetite for Destruction, with the exception of One in a Million. That is not on it. Other things to say about the legacy of this record: this is a fondly looked at release by the fans, and it got pretty good reviews. I don't understand what fucking universe we are in, but there you go. I'm not sure what to call this. I've heard some people call it their second studio album. That's what it's called on Wikipedia. I've heard others call it sort of stopgap EP. I've heard it called an compilation. It's a tricky one to define. I've heard people call it a collection of rarities. It's longer than a few full-length albums. It is tricky. It's longer than most EPs. I know that EPs are not defined by length necessarily, but they are typically shorter releases. I'm not sure what to call this. I mean, if it's the second studio album, it's one of the worst follow-ups to a debut record in history. Context helps in assessing it. Am I right, Alex? What do you think?
Yes, understanding that there was a live album which, for whatever reason, they couldn't re-release, or maybe there was some pressing issues, like CD pressing, so they wanted to get something new out there. So doing that, but also
it's a cash grab.
Giving
it's
something
a cash grab.
New. Yeah, exactly. But how do you do a cash grab? And I think it's an interesting way to do it. Because it's split into 2 halves. The first half is the live stuff, and then the second half is the acoustic side. Do you guys think the second half is acoustic simply because that's the easiest to record and to get out there? Or do you think it's a genuine, we want to show a different side of ourselves, or look, we're more than just these rock guys, as like a response to the backlash they were getting?
The former.
Alexei, what about you?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if they wanted to, if they wanted to sell this if they wanted to sell it as here's some acoustic songs to show you that we're more than just a rock band, there's more of a sensitive side, they fucking failed at that, because it's got One in a Million on it, and the other one is a joke song, and the other one is a reworking of a song that already came out on the other record. I think that they did it in a night, which I know they did. They describe it as like an inspired session in the studio. That's why they put this out. So they did it in a day. It was easy to do, and then they tried to sell it as what you said, the latter, as like we're more than just a a rock band. So the latter is what they used to sell it. The former is what actually happened. Danny, what do you think
About what this is as an album?
What is this? What is this? what is this? And why does it exist? And do you think that the context helps in assessing it?
Oh, that was the context. I guess, but in their defense, I think we said this before with Kiss, especially back then, I don't think a lot of bands and artists realized that their music was going to be studied and chronologized, if that's a word, as much as it is, put in this kind of, like what we're doing now. We're looking at the story of the band. We're seeing their first album, their second album. It was more of a business thing back then. We could see it with Kiss, throwing out albums really quickly without any thought.
Yes.
Not realizing that 50 years down the line, people are going to still be analyzing this shit. But I don't know. That's what we do. So that is the case, and so I guess it does help if we understand the context, but it doesn't make the music any better. It doesn't help in that way at all.
No, it does not. Anyway, on to the cover. What do we think of the cover? The original release of this had the words "wife beating has been around for 10,000 years" on the front. Again, I just think Appetite was way too big and they could do whatever the fuck they wanted. Maybe people just gave less of a fuck back then about this sort of thing. Obviously, they did. Wife beating has been around for 10,000 years. Sounds like the name of an anal cunt song. Sounds like the name of a torso fuck song. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. They didn't roll with that. They changed it to lies, lies, lies. However, there's also... but I really don't like this cover. I mean, the articles on it, if you actually attempt to read any of them, aren't funny. You know, it's trying to be shocking and edgy. Like they've got an elephant gives birth to a midget. Again, it's not aged well at all. It's just a bit shit. I think that sadly for them, the more edgy they tried to look back then, a bit like what you were saying, Danny, about not realizing that they could tarnish a legacy. But the more edgy they looked back then only served to highlight how old and dated they are now by using language like that. So in the long run, by trying to look edgy, they now just look like old men. They look like Roy Chubby Brown. They look like Bernard Manning. You know, obviously it's meant to be satire about all the bad press that they are getting, but you know, obviously in the case of Guns N' Roses, bad press is incredibly good press for them, as their sales are not affected at all. You know, like if you're playing a stadium, like they did with the Stones and Living Colour, and yelling the N-word in front of 1,000 people, and then trying to make a bold artistic statement about how invasive the press is, then you can just fuck off. You can just fuck off. Like, you're purposely doing things that are trying to grab, you know, attention from the press, and then making some sort of statement with your album cover about, you know, how invasive and libelous the press are. I mean, you can just fuck off. It's very confusing in its message. Like, and also in the long run, the bad press that Guns got ultimately did them no harm, and if anything, got them notoriety. I think this is a really shitty cover. I'm not keen of it. I guess aesthetically, without its message, just the layout of it is fine. You know, I guess with that thick as a brick sort of thing. But the content is just wank and shit. Alex, what do you think of this cover? Front cover.
I agree with a lot you say, but also it doesn't match the album. Like in terms of like a live album, I don't think it really matches well enough.
It's not a live album though. It's not. It's what the fuck even is it? It's not a live album.
I'm talking about like two sides though. Like how one side is it's half a live album, but I know it's not really a live album, but it's sort of presented in that way. And then the other side is this acoustic one. I don't think this matches up with either one. And weirdly, I don't know why, it just looks like a compilation album. You know what I mean? Like when you would see compilation albums when you would go into a store, like it would have this sort of look to it, of like the kind of like lots of writing and messy stuff. I just get that feeling from it. So I don't think it's good. No, I don't think it's good. And it's just, it adds more confusion to what this is and what they want it to be as well.
Danny, what do you think?
Yeah. I agree a lot with you guys.
Yeah.
Especially what you said, Alexei, about like... I agree with you that like they're inviting controversy in the first place, so it doesn't make much sense to do this cover. But also, I just, even in a more simple way than that, it makes them look very thin-skinned.
Yeah, it does.
Right, it looks like shit got to them very quickly is what it looks like.
Yeah, or it's trying to look
although
like...
it's probably more cynical than that they're just using this itself as a marketing thing.
Yeah, or it's
look
annoying.
How shocking, controversial
yeah, or it's annoying in the sense that it's like, just leave us alone. We're rock and roll. We do whatever the fuck we want. Do you know what I mean? And that's just a shitty look as well. It's just annoying, and it doesn't make you look edgy. It just makes you look, like you said, precious.
It very quickly makes me think that they didn't really know what was good about their first album. I'm not just talking about music, I'm talking about the vibe that they put across. They're instantly taking it to a very different place here, just from the front cover. And it's a very defensive, butthurt response. At least that's how it's being presented, which is bad. But then, as you said, Lex, it's probably just more cynical
Yeah.
shit stirring and baiting, basically.
Yeah.
Which we'll get onto later in that really bad song. What's it called?
One in a million. One in a million. It also,
So
it
yeah,
comes,
it's not a good front cover.
It comes at a time as well where it comes at a time now as we're reviewing it, where I think the general consensus now that is, if you're annoyed about woke stuff and you're just sort of screaming into the wind, pissing into the wind about freedom of speech and stuff like that, you just come across as a very butthurt snowflake, essentially. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of switched.
It comes full circle.
It's come full circle. I mean, I always thought that anyway, but like, you know, and because in the special context, it particularly now at this point in time looks incredibly, incredibly, incredibly bad. Right. Gay porn fever. Let's move it to track by track. Track one. Yeah, gay porn fever. Anyone else have gay porn fever? Comment below. Like,
comment below, guys.
Comment below. If you'd like to see more from Gay Porn Fever, let us know in the comments. Reckless Life. Brackets. Gay Porn Fever.
Fuck's
That's pretty reckless life. I basically, right, first track, reckless life. Basically, I was almost tempted to ask if we review all of these live cuts as a whole because they're very, very similar. They're all at the same BPM, pretty much, bar one. They're all centered around very similar things. They're all that we don't give a fuck attitude. You know, this is just not them putting their best foot forward. I'll get Alex. What do you think?
What about this track or assessing them?
Yeah, about
altogether?
this track. Well, what do you think about this track?
Okay, it's. Do you remember when we did Kiss Alive ages ago, and there was a whole thing about the like
do.
Like track, like the
crowd
the audience
noises.
track, whatever you call it. Crowd
I
noises,
don't think there's enough crowd noises on this. I think they should have taken
well,
a
that's
leap
it
out there.
there.
Sounds dead.
It was all
like
that
no
big
one there.
controversy, but it never really interfered. Like I was never like, oh, this sounds really really bad with that Kiss Alive album. But this one, it's immediately quite noticeable of how like the crowd are there and then they're just quickly very much gone, and it feels very empty and weird.
Yeah, sounds weird.
But so consider that, and like when I talk about the rest of these tracks. But this one, I mean, it's not a classic song. Let's be honest.
No.
However,
sorry. It's worth saying this is. Sorry. It's worth saying context-wise. This is not a cover. This is an original track. I think written by Izzy mostly. I could be wrong. Sorry. Carry on.
It very much feels like one of their songs. You know what I mean? Like it feels like a B-side off Appetite, which isn't a terrible thing. Even though, like I said, this isn't a classic track, they sound pretty good here, and it totally sells me. Like if I heard this, I would have been like, "Oh hell yeah, I want to go and see them live," because they sound really tight. Still,
really,
and they all sound.
Oh yeah,
I
they
think
sound
they do.
tight. Yeah, they sound tight. But this, I mean, as maybe like a starter in terms of like, okay, this is a sample of what they're like live, but actually, you know what, their other songs are way better. Like they're this energy, but good songs.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an abstract way of introducing them as a live band, in my opinion. I didn't get that off this at all.
If I heard this and I was thinking like, oh, if I went to a Guns N' Roses show and they would play all those hits from Appetite plus play this, I'd be like, oh, that sounds like a pretty good show. I think this is the best track on the album.
I disagree with that.
It's very simple, but I think it works. There's a good ripping solo. The bass sounds great.
The bass does sound very good. I was about to say that. The bass does sound really good. It's got a lot of good rhythmical choices. It's quite melodic, quite nice. There's some good parts. Also, something I will say is that Axel's voice sounds decent here. And if you look at a lot of live recordings of him, he doesn't always sound great, particularly towards more present day. He sounds more consistent here. I do think, though, and I think Danny might agree with me, his voice benefits from being doubled when he's recording, because it is quite thin. Danny, what do you think of this?
Well, I didn't do any research before I started listening to this, and so the first thing I wrote is this a studio album or not then? So I was already just, I don't know, I was in a bad mood or something.
It's confused. It's confusing. It's confusing.
Confused. But I mean, I guess that's allowed, but instantly I thought, well, I was turning it up really loud because I thought you've got to crank that opening riff to feel it. But in fairness, I guess I did feel it a bit because I was cranking it. There's more ballsy moves in the solo than a lot of what we got on Appetite, a sort of live energy, more shreddy. I think his voice is much more annoying here. It's very, very... What you say is true, Alexei, that he benefits from studio production, but also it's just... His performance is very, like, weak. I can't say weak, like thin, like you said, and very adenoidal. Yeah,
well, man,
to make fun of people
maybe you need to watch some like clips of him, even round this period. Well, there's a video of them playing at the Ritz. His voice is already fucked around this time. Like, and in comparison to what he's normally like. Well, it's that sort of voice that
does have such a time limit.
It does, yeah. You can't sustain it, because that's,
Yeah.
Because even if you listen to the way he speaks, he's got a very deep voice. Like, it is obviously a push for him to get to that place. But even, like, around this time, his voice is already starting to fuck. So, for a live recording of him, this is actually the best I've ever heard him.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess I have seen some clips, and, haven't been impressed with his live performance clips before. So, I guess it is better in that regard, in that he's generally on key. And he's sort of in control vocally, but I don't know. Anyway, I lost interest in this song very quickly, especially on the second listen.
Same.
In my notes, it benefits from being the first track because I'm sort of still open-minded to this album. So I had a few good things to say about it, but it's not a song I'll ever listen to again.
Yeah. I mean, I think most Guns N' Roses songs are better than this, at least around this period. So I think it's a lot of a short change situation, to be honest. But again, keep lamenting that point. It sounds enough like Guns N' Roses at this time for people to lose their shit over it, basically, in the context of this time period. The next track is Nice Boys. Again, more of the same BPM, same I don't give a fuck message. I mean, I think I prefer this to Reckless Life. I think it's got more of a hook. I mean, it's a cover. It's a cover of a Rose Tattoo song. I mean, this is played with piss and vinegar. Again, like a lot of these, it would work well as a bonus track, or particularly this one, as a first encore song at a gig where the energy is already high, just to capitalize on the vibes of the audience before going into Rocket Queen or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just coming back on and like, fuck it, we're having we're going to have a party, and then busting into this. I could see it working. Again, though, as just a listening experience, as that, at best, a B-side, a rarity. Yeah, I mean, there's not much variety here. Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, really not much to say. I liked the opening chord structure. For some reason, like the double stop lead guitar was quite refreshing, which is a very old thing, but maybe it's something they've not done as much.
Yeah.
They should use loads of backing vocals more. I think they do down the line. That suits the sort of big choruses that they like to do. So I like that there's a bunch of backing vocals. It does go on a bit, though, this way. It's way longer than it should be. I wrote... Just make a studio version. This is the worst of both worlds.
Right.
And I really think all these 4 tracks, that's how I feel about it. I was like, just do it proper, or give me a really raw but very exciting live recording. Because this is
Do you like the live mix?
somewhat horribly in between.
Do you like the live mix? Because I think it's fine. Like, nothing mind-blowing. But everything's balanced very nice, I think. Maybe the vocals are a bit quiet.
Yeah, it's probably... Yeah, it's fine. I'm not going to start... That's not where my focus is on this album. It is supposed to sound raw, so I wasn't breaking it apart in that way. No, it sounds fine.
Yeah.
I can hear the instruments.
Yeah.
But just like the first song, I liked it less on the second listen. A lot less. Alex, what do you think?
What do you think, buddy?
Piggybacking on
Alex, what do you think?
Alexei, what do you think? Piggybacking on what you were saying, Alexei, it is really weird, like, sort of assessing this song and the last song off, like being, you know, the second track on an album, because what you're saying, Alexei, totally in a live set, you know, in an hour show, an hour and a half show, 2 hours, whatever, I think this song would be great. Sort of like, just filling in little gaps
I think
between
so.
the big hits. You can hear that, you know, they played it a lot. They sound good. At least as sort of like a, you know, I think for what it says, like it sounds decent. Like you're saying, like, the mixing sounds alright. I agree with what Danny said. Like, it is just this weird half and half thing where it's like you're not getting the true potential of either one. But this is the second track off this release, the studio album, and it is very lacking. It just sounds like, you know, a kind of a throwaway song, a pretty good throwaway song. I don't hate it. It's a little bit, you know, verging on like Gene Tier writing, you know, like Sweet 16 and all that kind of crap. But they perform well. Did you listen to the original? Because I think I prefer that. They sort of do.
I did not. No, I didn't.
The drums go
No.
slightly different in the original, which gives it kind of like a more straightforward, like punk kind of, you know, Ramones sort of like feel, which I kind of prefer. It's completely fine, but as a second track on an album, it's kind of shit, and you lose attention, like Danny was kind of saying there. It sort of pulls you away, being like, oh, you don't really need to concentrate much on this. Yeah.
Right.
Next.
It's Gay Porn Fever, talking about Gay Porn Fever.
Move to the city. I prefer that song that I just sang to this next one. Move to the city. Brass does not suit them fucking at all. It sounds fucking dated. Danny, what do you think?
The first thing I wrote is, I don't know about the brass here. It's just muddying things up.
Yeah.
In terms of the arrangement.
It's
There's
not
already too
them.
much going on for brass. It just gets lost.
Also, with them
It's
as
not
well,
that, I agree with that. I think
it's too big and goofy for them. Do you know what I mean? Like, his brass section.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, especially, they're barely using it. It's not like we're getting a big, you know, real big fish moment with the brass where we hear it. It's like a big anthem.
Those Guns N' Roses to learn from Real Big Fish.
If they could, oh god, oh, don't get me started. If they could, if only they could. But we weren't in that timeline. I wasn't minding his vocals as much here. I don't remember why. They just weren't as annoying. Like, music doesn't need to be functional, but this song feels so pointless.
It is very pointless.
What's it for? I don't know what.
Yeah, I wrote pointless. I wrote pretty
Like, just
pointless.
why
at
is
the end.
this song here?
Why does it exist? Also, you know what's fucked up as well?
Yeah.
Because I had brass on it, I was like, oh, this will be a cover. This will be one of their cover songs that they put on this record. This is an original song. They wrote this. Like, they've got much better shit in their arsenal than this. Like, why would they release? Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Well, why give it the attention of the brass and everything? Like, I mean, listening to you give the background, Alexei, I guess maybe what I'm about to say is wrong, but I was writing things like they've got more money to throw around and less to do with it. Like, it's typical second album stuff. They're just throwing around, oh, we'll throw a brass section on that track. Maybe it was all just
you
less
say that,
organized.
but then you say that, but this was taken off live like a suicide, which was originally released before Appetite. So this would have
That's
been
what I mean, yeah.
before they had
So-
all the money.
Yeah, so I don't know why that's there. There was some nice wah in the solo. That was fun. And that's it. What do you think, Alex?
It's a very strange choice, isn't it? I know lyrically, like, when you look at it, it is sort of like what they do. It's sort of like, oh, the city's tough, and all these people out here, you know, so much like wild stuff's going on. But the sound of it is such a different direction. Like the sort of I don't know, like the tempo and then the brass sort of like it sounds like when, you know, when a band has been around for like 40 years and then like they do lots of like, oh, we're going to cover our favorite songs from when we were young, and you know, they bring in a brass section and it's all just like, I don't know, just like
It's like that.
It doesn't, it has no urgency or like any grit like the you know, everything else we've heard from them so far. So very strange. Again, they sound okay as a band, but I agree that the brass just doesn't work, especially with this live, not live thing going on. It sounds all muddy, and yeah, it doesn't feel like it's really been thought through. Here we get we get a lot of what do you call that kind of singing where it's like when he's like
vibrato, like he puts vibrato, like vibrato.
It's vibrato, but the way he's doing it is like so exaggerated. He does it in this track and the next one so much, and then the next track he does it constantly. But
do you mean the one where he goes? Do you mean the one where he goes like? Oh, that one. I thought you meant the one where he goes like that thing that he does.
I just noticed it a lot. Yeah, this one's not a cover, but it feels like a cover. Again, just adds
absolutely
another layer to this bizarre album.
Really feels like a cover.
Yeah, it really does. I think it sounds. I think it's really boring. I think it sounds more like Status Quo than Guns N' Roses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No more to say on it. It's
Move to the City.
It's a really shit name as well. Move to the City. It's like the opposite of the sitcom Green Green Grass. It'd be like if Boise moved from the countryside to the city instead. Anyway, the next song on this album is called Mama Said, which is a cover of an Aerosmith song. Axl starts this one by saying, "This song is about your fucking mother," which is nice. Great banter there, Axl. Might be the highlight of the record so far. Well done. Alex, what do you think of Mama Said, this cover of Aerosmith?
I wrote that I'm glad we're not doing an Aerosmith podcast.
Speak up! Sorry, Karen.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not doing an Aerosmith podcast because this song does not sound particularly interesting at all. I heard the original and I didn't like it that either. This is the dullest of the live tracks. It's very straightforward, and even though, again, I've listened to the original now, so I can hear they've sort of upped the tempo and made it a bit messier, and Axl still does some fun things vocally. He's doing a lot of the sort of thing. But again, why is this here? What is, like, just like Danny said, is what is this for? What do they really feel like this needs to get out there? The people need to hear this, because it's so clear that they are incredibly talented. Like even on the songs where I'm like, this isn't a
Oh,
great
of course,
song.
yeah.
Like
Of course.
their talent shines
tight.
through.
Yeah, absolutely. Tight, fantastic, loads of energy, chemistry, tons of it. It's just the songs aren't great. The songs that they are performing are not good. Yeah, that's it. It's like,
so
why are you choosing to play these songs that aren't that great? Like,
but it's such a different feeling, you know, listening to this as compared to what we did with Kiss. Because I don't think I ever had that feeling when we did the Kiss stuff. Maybe a little bit with like Paul, where I was like, oh, Paul, you can do so much better. But here, I'm like, guys, I can hear, like, you've got some awesome stuff you want to do. And like, I know you could probably take this song and like proper go with it, like they did with songs on Appetite. But they are phoning it in, or this is just being quickly released, and it's a frustrating listen, honestly. So I don't have much more to say than that. This for me was the worst of the live selection.
yeah. It's a lot more 12-bar blues, isn't it? There's a bit more Chuck Berry, which I think I had more than enough of with Kiss again. Danny, what do you think of this cover of the Aerosmith song Mama Said?
I really don't want them to sound like this. It's Rocky Horror Picture Show without the fun. Barely even a solo, but it's the best part. And that's it. It's really not good. Really. So different to Appetite.
Yeah.
Such a different feeling to everything on Appetite.
It's just
It was great and fun and new and exciting. It's I don't know, man. It's old people after the wedding shit. Like back then, even. This is so dated and it's Kiss stuff, man.
Yeah. It's Kiss on a bad day. Like, it's Kiss on a bad day, and it's annoying as well because it's going back to what Alex said about like you know you can hear it in these recordings. There's loads of chemistry, but there's a lot of things about Guns N' Roses they're missing from a lot of these tracks. They're great. The riffs, for example, their style of riffing, that kind of chuggy thing, is all absent from these tracks. Particularly this one. It's just sort of 12-bar blues with sevenths in it and stuff like that. It's fucking dull. I'm not keen. I get very little from it. It's worth saying as well, I'm not really a fan of Aerosmith particularly. I don't really know him very well. Never bothered to really get into them. I'm not that familiar with the original. Yeah, but I don't know. It could be better. I can live without this though, absolutely. But now the record is split in half. Much like their songs, actually. Their songs seem to have a sort of coda, sort of like split in two parts. You know, Rocket Queen, Paradise City, a song off this as well. Much like the album. Almost the album is structured like that. Think about it. Interesting. This is onto the brand new tracks. This is Patience, which is the only hit of this album. And again, I think it's funny that there is so much confusion over who wrote this song because it's really not that good. I think this is boring. I don't like the chord changes, especially the change to the major at the end of the sequence. I think is really, it's just a bad move. It really sort of waters down the song. I will say this: the way the three acoustic guitars, because there's no bass on it, it's basically essentially just Duff, Izzy, and Slash all on acoustic guitars and Axl. Are balanced really well. And I think that chemistry still sort of comes through. However, the rest of the song, the actual song itself, the way it's written, it's meandering. There's no hooks, which is okay if there's just a bit of fucking emotion in it, which there isn't. There's no fucking emotion in this track. Axl absolutely fucking sleepwalks through it. There's no passion in his voice at all, and it's not even sort of little and like, you know, candid and delicate. It's just his natural voice is really dull. There's no emotion. It's really boring. I mean, granted, there's a bit at the end when he's belting, but that doesn't really do much to lift it. You know, it's you know, it's boring. It's not atmospheric. It's not passionate. It's not hooky. It's not emotional. It just sort of plods along. Also, the sentiment of the song, you know, that kind of like, all you need is a little patience. It's quite gaslighting. I don't know. There's something about it that just rubs me the wrong way. You know, it's like, darling, all you need is some patience. You know, it can be interpreted as quite emotionally abusive. I'm not. I'm not keen. I guess the most interesting thing about it is the way the guitars work, kind of meander in and out of each other, weave in and out of each other, and the fact that it's written in two halves, like a lot of their songs, I think is relatively interesting. Not keen on this one. Very surprised it was a hit. Fucking boring. Really fucking boring. And this is seen as like a saving, would be seen by most people as like, well, you might not like it, at least it's got patience on it. I'm like, no, disagree. Not that good.
That is mental.
Not mental. Mental to me. Danny, what do you think?
I put, is this Axel? Is that really him the whole song?
Yeah,
like,
it's
in the beginning?
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Even
I
even
thought maybe
him,
one of the guitarists was singing it or something.
yeah, because the one thing you could give Axel, whether you like his voice or if it's not, he goes for fucking 12 on a lot of his songs. Or if he's doing the kind of if he's doing the croony sort of voice, he sounds kind of purposefully sort of schlubby and slack, but in a kind of
There's effort.
There's effort, like he's sort of being a character. This is just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Sorry, carry on.
Nothing. No, that's what I put. I put absolutely nothing at all for me, this song. It does nothing for me. I put, has this not finished yet? Because like some other songs on this album, it goes on and on. It's way too long. I am not deep enough in this band yet for B-sides.
No.
Like, it sounds so much like a demo, a B-side. I was just bored out of my fucking mind listening to this song. And honestly, this whole half of the album, really boring. This isn't the exciting band that I just heard on the last album. Which I was thinking, I was worried I was too negative just to contrast to you guys about Appetite. Like, that's a great album, and it's really fun, and it's exciting, and it's great to listen to and rock out. This is...
Not
it's not
that.
like they're
This
showing
is
the other
not
side
that.
of themselves.
Yeah.
No.
It's
So,
fucking
no, big thumbs down from it. And I've never heard it.
It's James
So
Taylor, this. Do you know what I mean? This sounds like James Taylor to me. It's not, which is not what you want from Guns, like what you said, particularly
I
about
don't want James Taylor.
Full stop. I mean, like, the Turn on the Night did worse in the charts than this did. And I think that's really fucking sad. I think that's really, really fucking sad. The Turn on the
That's a
Night.
travesty.
That is a fucking travesty. Alex, if you're done, Danny, Alex, you want to give us your take on
I'm
this
done.
song?
Oh, yeah. Positives. Continue to be amazed by Axel's vocal range. Like, I agree with both of you that he is not bringing it on this one emotionally. But I had the same reaction as you, Danny, where I was like, that can't be Axel. He sounds completely different. And so very impressed by that. And what you said, Alexei, the guitars at the beginning when they're coming in sound great together. They're mixed very nicely, very nicely balanced and playing off each other. Really, really cool. However, it's that for almost 6 minutes. Just those guitars. And yeah, I think this is... I can see it being a hit because it's totally one of those songs that would have played like in an care home advert, or like, in like it'll be in like an ER TV show, and this would have played at like, a big emotional moment, just like that chorus bit. And I could totally see like Numbies being sold off that, as well, of course, it being Guns N' Roses. That's the only thing I can think of, because as you guys are saying, it's not a full song, even despite how long it is. To me, this song feels though it's lacking something. It has the sort of the first 2/3, which just goes on and on and on and on, and then you get that last third where they try and build up a bit more. And I don't mind that last part so much, because I think it's all mixed very nicely, and like the backing singing is quite pleasant. Like I say, it's just very pleasant. But this is not a full song. There needs to be something else to it. There needs to be a build up, or sort of like a story or something to move you along. But there isn't. So it just goes on and on and on and on with no nothing to pull you through. I know Axel had some pretty simplistic lyrics on Appetite, namely Sweet Child of Mine. But the way he sung that, he really carries it through with emotion and flair. And here we don't get any of that. Yeah. So just I of course I have this with the last track as well, but I'm very worried that like this is what we're gonna get a lot of, especially with the next few projects. Like, yeah. This was like a big like red flag into like
red flag.
God.
I think as well that like they, for a band that is so good at writing choruses, can write some amazing choruses. Sweet Child of Mine, Rocket Queen, Welcome to the Jungle, fucking Paradise City. You know, all these amazing choruses that they said that would pass as a chorus for this is just appalling to me. Absolutely appalling. The next track, Used to Love Her. Again, despite their best efforts, this record was still a huge success. Like, this is a joke song. This is a joke song, and it's not funny. And really, that's it. And that's funny. As much time as I'm willing to give it. It's not funny. The joke is very simplistic. It's not offensive, at least. It's not really that funny. I mean, when you talk about screaming B-sides, this is it. Absolutely fucking deafening how much it is screaming a fucking B-side. But that's as much time as I'm willing to give it. If you guys have anything more to say, you can say, but otherwise we should move on. Alex, got anything you want to add about this?
I agree, man. This should be, if this is going to be on an album, this is one of those songs where it's like a minute long, you know, like a little interlude between.
It shouldn't be on an album.
Between songs.
I'm just stopping you there. It shouldn't be on an album. This should be on a B-sides or rarities or something. This should never touch an album. It's an unfunny joke song. If this was slap bang, right?
Because it's a swing and a miss. Why is this here?
Yeah, Axel sounds terrible on it as well. Maybe that's on purpose, but it doesn't sound good. He kind of goes in between that voice and that voice, and it don't really work. Danny, what do you think? If you have anything to add on this.
The first thing I wrote, which I think is funny, is, man, is this all going to be acoustic shit? I was very disappointed.
Just you wait.
Oh, dear.
I actually thought I liked the lyrics a bit more because of effort. I think it's not funny, but they're trying to be funny, and I like that they're trying to do something different to all the problematic lyrics or dated lyrics that they usually like to do.
Yeah.
Now, this actually falls in with that, actually. It is still problematic and dated, and it has all the sexist problems with their other songs. But at least, I don't know, it would be easier to defend this song as kind of, it's just a silly song. Like, in a way, I prefer them living in that territory than, I don't know, whatever sleazy shit we've got from them before. Is that making sense? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get you.
This is easier to just write off and kind of be like, they're just being dumb here.
Yeah, I'll take that.
But no, it's not. It's really, I need to emphasize, it is not funny. It's not a funny song.
It's not funny.
And it thinks it's so funny.
Yeah.
Which isn't good. I thought his vocals were alright, actually, compared to some of the other songs. And I liked it less the second time. Like a lot of songs on this album. So we can move on.
Let's move the fuck on. You're crazy. I think, this is a reworking. Again, more fucking confusion. This is a reworking of a song off Appetite, which we covered, which I like. I think it's pretty good. I think this is the best thing on the record, in my opinion, mainly just because it's a song off Appetite, because the songwriting's better. Axl has such a weird voice, man. Axl Rose has such a weird fucking voice. Weirdly,
Yeah,
he does.
really weird.
You know, when he does the high streaky thing, he sounds most normal. One of the amazing things about this song is that you hear in real time how he gets from the to the thing. Like he literally, you hear him go like you hear it in real time. That is amazing to listen to. I'm like fucking like he becomes like a different person. But for the most part, he's very like it's very weird. I prefer the original, but Axl is having fun. It's a decent reworking. They sound tight. It's alright. The guitar solo is a letdown, but I understand what they were going for with it. Not the best. Prefer the original. But sorry, not the best in general, as in the wider body of music that exists. But on this record, I think it's probably the best thing on it. Alex, what do you think?
I'm gonna disagree with you because for me it's not the worst song on the album, but this is one where every time it came on, I very quickly got just bored of it and annoyed of it. I think because it's a cover, like not cover, but like because we've had the other version, and You're Crazy might be maybe my least favorite track of Appetite. For me, and so for this song to be the one that they were like, well, we're gonna redo this one. Well, or now that I know what you were saying, Alexei, well, this was the original idea for it, and they used But anyway, hearing it again, I was like, I really don't need to hear this version because I don't think it improves on anything from the one we heard off Appetite. It doesn't change the meaning of the song. It doesn't add anything to the feel of it. The solos aren't as good. For me, Axl doesn't sound very, very good here. He sounds quite insufferable, like because he is very much all over the place, like you were saying, Lexi. He's really like trying to find a spot
everywhere,
all
over the fucking
doing
map.
stuff. Yeah,
we're fucking everywhere.
Yeah, but. So this one was a quick like, okay, I just want this one to be over again because I just know there's a better version out there I could be listening to. Yeah, and you know what, if the person Axl is so crazy, maybe you just gotta have a little bit of patience. You ever think about that? Just all those problems you're having,
maybe a little bit.
Just wait it out.
Yeah. There is a quote from him. I didn't include it where he was like he struggles to listen to the song Patience because like he doesn't have any anymore. He said something like that, and I was like, oh, that's quite honest of you. You fucking weirdo. You absolute fucking maniac. You fucking weird little fucking idiot, loser, fucking lunatic. Absolute weirdo. That was a signal, Danny, for you to start.
Didn't catch that.
Oh, sorry, I'll do it again. Hang on.
No,
okay. I'll do it again.
Yeah, one more time.
My partner's telling me to be quiet. My partner's telling me to be quiet. Fucking bitch!
When you do that, it picks the mic and Discord like mutes you, so we can't tell when you finish.
Oh. Does it really?
Don't do it though, because it'll go into the recording. But it's just so funny for us to hear.
Yeah, it'll be in the recording, so don't worry.
Good thing we're bloody recording it.
So why don't you do it one more time?
We missed that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Go on then. What do you think of You're Crazy?
Okay. I think I was losing patience because I put, man, I hate this shit.
Ooh! No pun intended.
There's a Kiss-like quality to recycling mediocre material like this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what was that one that Gene redid for his solo album?
See You in Your Dreams.
See You in Your Dreams.
I mean, it's not as bad as that, though, because there's a logic to this, which is this came off the biggest fucking album one of the biggest albums of all time, whereas that was a filler track off their oh god, what record was it? Rock and Roll Over, a deep cut basically off
Fair enough,
of a
but
not very successful record, or not as successful as this. Nowhere close. There's a rationale here.
no, that's a good point. But on the flip side of that, there's a rationale to I'm doing a solo album within the context of my band, and I maybe had a different vision for a song in comparison to it's literally our second album and we're out of material. So I think,
do you
it's
buy
not good.
Do you buy the treat? Do you buy the treat for fans argument that maybe they were like, let's show them the original working we were going to do for this song? Because let's say you frame,
I'm sure that's what it is.
let's say you frame this like a B-side and a rarities selection.
Then it's much
If
more
you view it
understandable.
that, much more understandable. I agree with you. So then it's there's
a
the
lot
logic
of-
there.
Yeah, I don't want to skip to my conclusion, but a lot of my problem with this album is that I should not have even listened to it. This is not for me because I'm not a hardcore Guns N' Roses fan.
Yeah.
This is for hardcore Guns N' Roses fans, this album. I thought, Alexei, the vocals are getting laughable at this point. Really just too ridiculous.
They are daft. No, I'll give you that.
It doesn't matter how technically impressive they are. Yeah. And I just wasn't listening by the end, especially on the second listen. I was not paying attention. So, next.
And then the album finishes. Right, let's go on to our final thoughts. What we
Might
think
as
of
well,
this-
man. I don't
this
even want to
record.
fucking talk about that next track.
No, but you have to. You have,
have
to.
to.
Like this is.
All right.
It's. I think it's important. Because we're. It's. I think it relates to a wider discussion, that should be had about art and music and stuff like that. Not that we need to get into that.
Okay, but then...
we don't.
Yeah,
But-
can I say, because I don't think the podcast is about that, and that's an important thing, right? That's a very important thing that people should be talking about, and we're just here to, we want to talk about Kiss and stuff like that, and I'm worried we might not do it justice, but we can try it. Let's.
Well,
go on.
yeah, no, I'm not saying. I'm not saying we have to do it justice, but what also I really want to make clear is that sorry, because that would go into what I think about this song. Basically, let me give you. Okay, I'm going to give you the background behind this song, which was incredibly controversial.
All right.
And,
Oh yeah. Okay, I want to hear that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the background behind the song. I'm going to give you some rationale behind the song. I'm going to give you its sort of legacy and impact, and then I would like us to go into what we think about the song. Is that cool?
Go on.
Cool. So it's worth noting that as well as writing the lyrics to this song, Axl also wrote the music as well. Basically off the basics that he knew on acoustic guitar. So this is very much his baby, this song. 1 in a Million. Very much his baby. Obviously, just to give this some pretext, I think that there are contexts where it's actually, you know what? No, sorry. I think that there are contexts where it is artistically excusable to use homophobic and racist language if it's satire or it's making a more or if it's making an important point or a statement. For example, Randy Newman has a song called Rednecks where he uses the N-word, but he's playing a character and he's basically mocking these people that use that sort of language. So with that in mind, let's get into Axl's rationale and inspiration behind the song 1 in a Million. He said, I used words like police and N-words because you're not allowed to use the word N-word. Why can black people go up to each other and say N-word, but when a white guy does it, all of a sudden it's a big put down? I don't like boundaries of any kind. I don't like being told what I can and what I can't say. I use the word N-word because it's a word to describe someone that is basically a pain in your life, a problem. The word N-word doesn't necessarily mean black people. Doesn't John Lennon have a song, Woman is the N-word of the world? Isn't there a rap group called NWA, N-words with attitude? I mean, they're probably of that word. More power to them. Guns N' Roses ain't bad. NWA is bad. Mr. Bobcat Goldthwait said the only reason why we put these lyrics on the record is because it would cause controversy and we'd sell 1 million records. Fuck him. Why'd he put us in his skit? We don't just do something to get the controversy. The press. So he's very much doubling down on the opposite.
That's the quote I read.
On the opposite of what I said, which is, okay, give him his due. I'm open to it. I'm very skeptical, very dubious, but I'm open to it because there are occasions. That John Lennon track, I don't think is one of them, by the way. I don't like that John Lennon song. But there are occasions where I think that, if it's to make a point, if there's satire in there, that there are occasions when it's excusable, if, in films as well. But he's the opposite. He's doubling down. He's doubling down, particularly on people think we put this language in our record because we know it'd get a lot of press and we'd sell a lot of records. No, we don't. This is my perspective on the world. On accusations of homophobia, Axl said he's pro-heterosexual. And I'm not against them doing what they want to as long as...
That.
He said, I'm not against them doing what they want to do as long as it's not hurting anybody else and they're not forcing it upon me. He also spoke of negative experiences in the past. That whole fucking bullshit, Chestnut, right? And he spoke of negative experiences in the past, such as a seemingly friendly man who let him crash on his hotel room floor and then tried to rape him. That was in 1989. So, a couple of years passed. Let's see how he feels about it in 1992, where he said, I was pissed off about some black people that were trying to rob me. He said, I wanted to insult those particular black people. In his final public comments about the song in 1992, Rose stated, it was a way for me to express my anger at how vulnerable I felt in certain situations that had gone down in my life. I'm not going to give too much away because we haven't got to reviewing the track. I do not really understand what this song is really about. I do know it's not satire. I 100% agree it's not satire. And I think it's amazing that this has not sunk them and tarnished their legacy. I've not heard a single good explanation for this song, for the song's existence, really, at all. Apparently, the other members of the band did attempt to get him to drop the song, which is good for them. Slash, particularly, who is mixed race, his mother is black, was really uncomfortable with them using those words. Steven Adler even said, is this really necessary? To which Axl replied, yeah, it's necessary. I'm getting my feelings out. One thing I do know, this is definitely his perspective, or at least his perspective at the time. In 2019, Duff McKagan said, in 2019, Duff McKagan said, one thing about Axl is if you're going to try to compete with him intellectually, you've lost. Disagree with that. Fuck him. Because he's a super smart guy. He's a super sensitive dude who does his studies. Again, really fucking disagree on that. This reads very much like a man who has never done his studies. It's like a man who's grown up in a fucking barn his entire life and has never spoken to another human being. When we did that song, I was still drinking. This is Duff talking. When we did that song, I was still drinking, but he was way ahead of us with his vision of something's got to be said. What's got to be said? What has got to be said? This is such a mixed message. So you agree with him? You agree with him? Do you think he was right to say this? Something's got to be said about what? And this stuff again. Something's got to be said, and that was the most hardcore way to say it. So flash forward to now, so many people have misinterpreted that song, so we removed it. Nobody got it. I don't understand. What is there to get? What is there to get? The only thing that I've heard that comes close to a reasonable explanation is from Izzy Stradlin, who said it's about race relations in LA. I don't buy that at all, though. I don't buy that at all. I only mean that it's a reasonable explanation because at least it's trying to defend it or try to make it sound reasonable in some way. It's not just doubling down on how offensive it is. Do you know what I mean? Also, it doesn't explain the homophobia. It doesn't explain the chorus at all. That's the background on this fucking mess of a fucking song. And this is what I think about it. This isn't satire. This is from his own words. These are his own thoughts. He's definitely not playing a little America nationalist bigot making some comment on race selections. And look, I'm not easily offended, but this is inexcusable nonsense written by an egomaniac that has never written a fucking book. Listen to these lyrics, like immigrants and F-slurs. They make no sense to me. They come to our country and they think they'll do as they please. Like start some mini Iran or spread some fucking disease. They talk so many goddamn ways. It's all Greek to me. This is Kanye West levels of stupidity. It's someone who is too successful to be told no. I'm amazed this is not sunk Guns N' Roses. There are so many people that have lost jobs and have lost fans artistically for tweets they made 10 years ago that aren't as offensive as this. Metallica headlined Glastonbury and got more pushback than when Guns N' Roses headlined Glastonbury because James Hetfield is a hunter, which, by the way, fuck him for being a hunter. But Guns N' Roses got no pushback by virtue of recording this. I think that all you can do is say, I cannot believe that their legacy has not been tarnished, and it goes to show of how big Appetite was, that they basically were indestructible and managed to survive. That this is in their discography. We haven't decided what the name of the version of the Kiss bin is for Guns N' Roses. Let's just call it shitty. Let's just call it shitty songs by Guns N' Roses. But this is going in there. It's very simple. They can just fuck off. Not just Axl as well. I know the other members of the band tried to tell him to not put this on the record, but the rest of the band should have just told him no or thrown him out. Musically, there's
something had to be said.
Something had to be fucking said, and they should have thrown him out. If I was in a band, yeah. Well, he's got to say it, you know. He's just got to get it off his chest. Also, musically, if we're going to address the problems, there's not much going on. The distorted electric guitar sounds absolutely shocking. That's what I think. Alex, what do you think of 1 in a Million?
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah. I'll just say on the bigger picture stuff, he can release this song if he really wants. If he really thinks he wants to get this out in the world, he absolutely can. But obviously we can criticize it as much as we want and say how fucking unbelievably ridiculous and stupid it is. Because my God, I can't believe that some people would try to defend it in what you're saying, Alexei. Because all it is just a sad little angry man, and there's nothing else more to it. Like, you can try and analyze it if you want, but he's just angry at the world around him for whatever reason, and he's just doing it in the worst possible way, throwing out these words and like these accusations.
Yeah,
it's awful, and it's someone. It's exactly what you said, Alexei. Someone should have stopped him. But
someone should have stopped him. Also, you can't defend this because he's fucking doubled down on it. He's saying, no, it doesn't. You know, at the time when he released it, he's not trying to say this is satire. This is, you know, he's not trying to defend it. He's basically, you know, he's doubling down on these really bizarre sentiments that are so kind of abstract and vague and wishy-washy and just fucking offensive. Incredibly fucking offensive. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
No, you're right. I mean, we can discuss like the John Lennon track. We can go into that, and you can debate like, whether that's the right way to tell that message. And you know, there is a message he is trying to send through that, whether you agree with it or not. Yada yada yada.
Yeah,
but there isn't a message here. it is
it's a different
just
discussion.
rambling.
Yeah.
Different
It is
discussion. Different discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
not to even get started. Not even to get started on the NWA shit, which is just fucking ridiculous.
That's a very odd example.
He's very, very odd. I think he lived quite a sheltered existence. I really, really, really fucking do. I can't remember where he's from, but it must be out in the fucking countryside somewhere where he met 3 people. Because that is such a fucking stupid argument. Like, I mean, it goes without saying that that's a ridiculous argument. It's so obvious.
But moving on from that, I guess. Like, I wish. Well, I don't wish, but like, if this was a track like the one that comes to mind is Ignition Remix by R. Kelly, where you know he's a terrible man, but then part of you goes, well, that song's really good, and it's a shame that, you know, the man is like that. But this is just a god-awful song.
Separate
this
art
is
from the artist.
an absolutely awful, terrible
it's a terrible song. It's a terrible
there's
song.
no need for the debate of like, well, you just gotta sort of look beyond that. It is just, if it took away the slurs, if we took away the horrible rap around, it's awful. It goes on forever. It's so dull and meandering. And so boring and just so self-absorbed. All of it, and just the whole like, just a little bit too high. It's just so I hate it so much, even as a song. So it's a real double.
It's horrible.
whammy.
Even It's also the emphasis he puts on those words, on that offensive language, is ridiculous. He really fucking leans into them and then goes, "That's right." After he's after he said it.
This was a really
It's
shocking. I never heard this song before.
awful.
I heard about it,
awful.
but I never heard it, and
Yes.
it was a shocking listen. I have no more to say about it.
Do you agree with let's say we just call it shitty Guns N' Roses songs, this list, or bad Guns N' Roses songs, but we're going to be compiling the list anyway.
Yeah,
this
maybe we'll come up with a better title another time. But absolutely.
Watch Danny defend it now. Get it out the bin. Get it out the shitty list. I disagree. He says a bunch of very powerful.
The solo is actually really, really great if you listen to it.
Someone had to say it. Something had to be said.
Go on.
I don't. You guys have covered most of it, so I almost don't even can't be bothered because it's a minefield and it's a sensitive topic, and it is so important. And like this song, whatever answers there are to these bigger questions, this song historically has nothing to do with that solution. This is not connected to the problem. It's just a shitty little song. Like, in a way, okay, when I first heard it, I was so baffled by it. Because it did bring my attention back from this really wank album.
Yeah.
Because I was like, whoa, what was that? And I was, half ready to defend it. Not defend, but the use of it, because I thought this must be a character.
I agree.
And I thought it was some kind of lame... I thought it was a lame mixture of... He's playing a character, like he's playing this bigot who's arrived in the city. Which maybe is... Again, I was giving him a lot of benefit of the doubt. I was thinking maybe that's connected to his own background and who's being a bit self-deprecating.
But Danny, the reason...
exaggerated version of
the reason why that is... The reason why that is because it's so absurd what he is saying. It's so absurd. Yeah. And for it to be on an really album like this... Yeah, and to be on an album like this, you think, oh, he must be playing a character, but he's not. Sorry, carry on.
Yes, and I thought it was a mixture of that with what we were talking about, like with the front cover and everything, like them just going after controversy. They know it'll cause up a stir. They know people will talk about it, which then connects them to something, which people love to talk about nowadays. It just comes back to freedom of speech. It comes back to freedom of speech. I can say what I want. And all of those, I thought it was a mixture of all of those things together. And then I read the one you read out, Alexei, that long quote. He doesn't go for any of those points.
No, none of them.
He does not. He doesn't use any of those. Which again, those ones I'll begin to have a discussion. Maybe like the John Lennon track. Again, I've got mixed feelings about that one. I think he was trying to make a point. It's not aged well. All that stuff. You don't even begin to talk about that here.
Mm.
And I think so. Like, this is not getting people talking. It's just bait, and it's like, okay. What I wrote really about this song is death of the artist and all that. Let's put all that behind us. The song is really wank.
It's a shitty
and it's
song.
brought down by a very dated moment. It's not edgy. It's just weak. I'm not offended. It's just really, really weak. And it's just shit. I agree with everything you guys were saying about it. It's not a good end to this album.
No, it's absolutely it's an appalling end to this record. And I think, you know, on the freedom of speech thing, because that's what Geffen Records said about it. They kind of put a statement saying we respect our artists and we want them to, you know, as freedom of speech. It just seems like a very uneducated, naive, stupid man, sort of, who's lived a very sheltered life, who's just moved to like a very diverse city and is just horrified by it. And this is who Axl Rose is. He is the character that we think he's playing. I think he generally is that person, or at least at the time when he wrote it, he is that person. These are his perspectives on things, particularly after moving to a very multicultural city. And what we're left with is just like the kind, you would not, like you said, the freedom of the artist, you would not get the average person that thinks these sort of things that's grown up in fucking, on the outskirts of Barnsley, that's like, you know, never seen a black person in his life. You wouldn't release anything by, you know, any of the thoughts and feelings by that person. But it's just pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. You know, why release his? I mean, it's you know, these are the thoughts and feelings of, you know, just a very, very showed, naive, stupid, bigoted, idiot person, and it should have just been stopped and pulled. I think the freedom of speech argument is just fucking stupid in context with this. So, thoughts overall. I think we should rank this because it's a big part of canon. The majority of the tracks are original releases. It was a big record, and I think it's important that we and some people have some people define this as their second studio album. I think this should have killed their career and tarnished their legacy due to the final track. Not including that. Let's say we take that off. This should have been a cheap rarities collection. The only reason why it entered the top 5 and became successful is because Appetite was absolutely fucking massive. And I think the residual success of that album has made this well regarded among fans and critics, and well regarded commercially. This should be something. This should be something that you would find in record bins in a supermarket in Europe, like Carrefour, for about €3. That's how big this should have been. You've got one half, which are 4 live tracks, 2 originals that are nowhere near as good as most of Appetite, and 2 covers of deep cuts by other bands that are, you know, fine if not a bit bad. Particularly Aerosmith on. The second half is 1 dull ballad, 1 unfunny joke song, 1 okay working of a song of Appetite, and a song that could have been written by a white supremacist punk band like Screwdriver. I don't need to say it. If we do rank this, we know where it's going. It should go right at the bottom. And I think it's a fucking shame that this is the last thing that the original lineup that put Appetite for Destruction out would put out. I think this is really, really bad. I think it's a cheap cash grab. I think it's confused. I think at its worst, it's offensive. Yeah, I think this is shitty. Alex, what do you think?
I agree we should rank it. because there are multiple original tracks on here, and also kind of the way that they presented it. And I agree it goes at the bottom. I mean, obviously because of what it's up against, but also I can't. I mean, we'll see as we go on with this. But this surely has to stay at the bottom because it is.
It will do. It will do. Also, it's not just what you say. What it's. I mean, it's like, you know, when you're saying it will stay at the bottom, it will do. I mean, it's not just what it's up against. You're completely right. I think if this was done by Kiss, it would be it'd be way towards the bottom. Yeah. Way towards the bottom. You know what I mean? You know.
Hearing Paul singing millions. One in a million.
You know what? I mean, we gave Paul a lot of shit. Let's say for us doing this series and we do discographies and stuff like that. If we have like a hierarchy of the biggest bell ends, I think the way it's going, Axl gives Paul a fucking run for his money.
Oh, it's not close. I don't think
it's not even close. Pause. I mean, Gene. Even Gene. I'm starting to prefer Gene to Axl at this level. You know what I mean? Sorry, Alex. Carry on.
Don't make no sense to me. I'm just hearing it. Come to our country.
You're gonna rape me.
Sorry, Alex.
Sorry. No, it's okay. I like the image.
Gene. Sorry, no, carry on. Sorry, I was going to do impression of Gene, telling him to stop. I'm not going to do that. Right, carry
on. Yeah, I think we should rank it. And even taking away the last track, this album is both lazy and uninspired and all over the place, obviously thematically, and it doesn't showcase their talents. And I say even on the okay tracks, it was kind of frustrating because you knew and you could almost hear them doing a lot more, but there's none of that magic, or at least extremely little of that magic that we had from Appetite. It is very interesting for me in the sense of like hearing this and then knowing we're going to do the other albums, because it's like, well, what is going to be on those freaking double albums? Because this makes it 100% clear that despite how talented they are, if there's no filter, if there's no evaluating themselves and thinking, should this go out, or how's this, you know, what's this going to sound like, or yeah, well, how's this going to affect our image, or whatever, just anything to sort of look at the not just go off instincts, because it's very apparent their instincts are shit. I mean, even with the last with Appetite, the original cover they wanted was god awful. Thankfully, you know, someone stepped in or they rethought it. But here again, someone should have stepped in and gone, guys, rethink this, please. So I'm very, very curious how the next few albums are going to go on. This goes in the bottom. Wow, what a shit album. Danny.
All I wrote was, I really didn't enjoy this much. It clearly wasn't for me. Put it at the bottom.
Put it at the bottom. So it's game rights. Also, Danny, in terms of a Guns N' Roses bin, are you happy with putting 1 in a Million in there? I mean, it has to.
I'm gonna have to really think about that one.
What? Why? Why? Are you joking? Are you taking the piss? Have I just missed this? Are you joking? Fucking hell! Fucking hell! Jesus Christ! I was like, fucking. I didn't know that guy at all. Fucking hell!
Just put it out there. Do we consider?
I'm thinking, read on him.
Should we consider any other tracks?
Can we put in You're Crazy, Patience, Mama Said?
Oh, you know what? Patience. Actually, I'll put Patience in there because I think it's funny because it was a hit and it's one of their most popular songs. So I'm happy to put Patience in there.
Any others?
I
think there's a lot could go. You're Crazy.
Patience to like You're Crazy, personally.
Right, patience. Oh wait, so sorry, what were you saying? So you don't want to put patience in there?
I would put You're Crazy in personally. But maybe what do you think about putting patience in?
No,
I'm
not gonna do You're Crazy because I didn't mind that. I don't think that was that bad. I can't sign off on that. Patience, I'll sign off on. Patience is really fucking boring. I didn't like that song at all.
Danny swayed me. If you want to put patience in, it goes in. If not, stays.
I think it should go in because it's a bad song.
Okay.
Patience. Right, patience is going in. So just a little rundown of that. Our album rankings now of Guns N' Roses record is GNR Lies at number 2, which makes God fucking hell, that makes it sound good. And Appetite for Destruction at number 1. But there are more albums to come. There's Use Your Illusions 1, Use Your Illusions 2, The Spaghetti Incident, and Chinese Democracy. So, there's time. And entering into our list of bad stuff by Guns N' Roses is what I've decided to call it. 1 in a Million and Patience. Right. Let's leave it there then. I have a suggestion for what we should sing for the end. Can I tell you what it is?
I know which one.
I think we should sing Cult of Personality by Living Colour because they stood up for Guns N' Roses. They stood up to Guns N' Roses at that gig, and it's much better than anything that's off this record.
All right. I'm going to move away from the mic.
Oh, shit.
One, two.
Sorry, I missed that. I missed that. I cut out. It cut out. Sorry, Mark, it cut out. What did you say? Did you hear my suggestion?
Let's go. Cult of Personality.
Oh, Cult of Personality. We're
Personality.
going.
3,
Okay,
2, 1.
Look in my eyes. What do you see?
I am the Cult of Personality.
Like Mussolini. Kennedy.
I am the Cult of Personality. Nobel Prize. When the leader speak that
personality. Only you can set you free. You free, set you free.